We have about most of the people that we're expecting today, and I see some other folks that are coming in right now. So why don't we get started? We'll try and keep on schedule. Welcome to everyone. Appreciate you spending your Friday morning with us. Truly appreciate it. For those of you that I haven't met personally, I'm Adam Pearl, as obviously it says right there. I'm the president and CEO of ArtPride New Jersey, and we're so glad that you could join us today for our update. And just a few housekeeping items at the top. You'll notice if this is your first webinar with us that we do have the Q&A and polls and chat features all active. So if you do have a question, please post it in the Q&A and we'll either write back an answer or answer it live. And then you can keep your eye on the chat if there's like a URL or something we want to share. We'll typically post it in there, and the polls will pop up if we end up using them. The other thing I always like to mention is that we are recording this, and we will post this on the ArtPride website later today. Thank you to the ArtPride staff for making that happen. And so if you miss something, a fact or a website, you can always go back later. You can always email someone on the ArtPride team. We can definitely get you that information. And so with that, I'm going to welcome in Anne-Marie Miller, our Director of Public Policy and Advocacy. And Anne-Marie is going to take you through most of this update, and I will come back with your questions. You ready, Anne-Marie?
I'm ready. Thanks, Adam. Okay, so let's see. It's Discover Jersey Arts Month. This is where we start off. The proclamation from the governor is official. This is part of National Arts and Humanities Month. In New Jersey, it's Discover Jersey Arts Month. So we hope that what you will do is promote this. And there are some ways you can do that. You can get a local municipal proclamation, consider an op-ed in terms of just declaring the value of the arts in New Jersey and how it affects your life, and share on social media. The Americans for the Arts Instagram has one of these Instagram challenges that they do every year in terms of, every day there's something else that you can post, and then use the hashtags for National Arts and Humanities Month, Show Your Art 2020. So I hope you'll celebrate along with us. The big news, here it is, October, National Arts and Humanities Month. It's also Discover Jersey Arts Month, and the governor signed the fiscal year 21 New Jersey state budget, $32 billion worth. These are the numbers for the cultural agencies, 19.858 for the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, 3.351 New Jersey Historical Commission, 10.375 for the New Jersey Division of Travel and Tourism, and $621,000 for the New Jersey Cultural Trust. Just point out a couple of things. For the New Jersey Division of Travel and Tourism, it was actually supposed to be 11.17. However, $795,000 was used in the earlier period when funds were frozen for a summer promotion campaign for travel and tourism. That's why that number is a little bit different. What you should know, however, is that $4.1 million was taken from the New Jersey Cultural Trust to the general fund. So it's always a step forward, a step, half step, maybe more than that backwards. But in any case, this is recognition of the fact that there is significant need by artists, arts organizations, creative workers for additional assistance through the grant making process of the State Arts Council. So we should all be doing a happy dance today. And if you move to the ArtPride website over at Jersey Arts Actions, you can use the email feature there that thanks Governor Murphy for signing the budget at these appropriation levels, which were the ones that he proposed back in February, but also reminding him that we would like to see the Cultural Trust reimbursed or replenished as soon as possible. At this point, I'd just like to make sure that we thank all the arts advocates out there who sent emails to their legislators, sent emails to Governor Murphy. This has been a long, long, long advocacy campaign, many years worth to get to this point. So we want to thank everyone for that.
Hey Marie, I'm interrupting real quick
Go ahead.
to say thanks and gratitude goes to you, first of all, for all of your hard work and your dedication and persistence, and to the ArtPride team, incomplete, to Jim and Megan and Vince and Corey and Emily, and to the whole board, a complete team effort led by you. And I know Sharon Harrington, I believe, is on the call too, feels the same way. So thank you truly from the bottom of our hearts. Like you said, the advocates, but the staff and then the board leadership of ArtPride as well. So I'll leave it at that.
All right, well, thank you. But yeah, it doesn't happen without advocates in every corner of the state. And, you know, many made personal visits, personal phone calls, attended social functions where the governor was, you know, appearing to make the point firsthand, and all of that makes a big difference. So please use this email right now to say thank you and remind them about the Cultural Trust still being important to us as a sustainable source of funding during difficult times, which we're in right now. Coming up, just want to let you know that this bill was dropped just before the budget was signed. This is S2914A4691. You can read what it says. It's basically an effort to appropriate $10 million to the New Jersey Economic Development Authority to support specifically arts and cultural organizations that have experienced a 50% or greater reduction in revenue, not including charitable donations from March through August 31st, as compared to the same period in 2019. We want to thank Senator Gopal and Assemblywoman Downey, who are the prime sponsors on this. Assemblywoman Huddle has already signed on as a co-sponsor. But now that the budget is passed, what we'll be doing is having a new action alert that thanks the legislature for their efforts on the FY21 state budget, but now asks them to co-sponsor this legislation. We have been closely monitoring similar types of legislation in other states, you know, Vermont, Utah, Pennsylvania, Delaware, have all appropriated CARES funding for arts and cultural organizations. So we wanted to make sure that there's recognition of the fact that this funding is needed, particularly as groups begin to reopen and have the needs to make the adjustments that are necessary related to COVID restrictions. All right, also on the state front, gubernatorial nominations were referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. This also happened just recently in September. And there are appointments being made to the State Council on the Arts and the State Board of Creative Arts and Activities Therapies, which is a new board that will monitor, you know, the different types of art therapies, music therapy, drama, dance, movement therapies, etc. So we wanted to make sure that you were aware of this. It's been referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. They will vote on these appointments. These nominations are usually not referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee unless there's fairly good assurance that they're going to pass through. Now, here we go on the national front. So the HEROES Act 2.0, I guess you might call it, was voted on last night and approved in the House with a very slim margin. I think it was 7 votes. And this is what it contains. So it's a trillion, 1.2 trillion less than the first HEROES Act, and proposed in an effort to try to get the Republicans to help sign on. So this was, This has additional funding for the NEA, the NEH, and IMLS, as you can see, for Corporation for Public Broadcasting and funding for state and local governments. What's really interesting to note here is that there is $10 billion for independent venue operators modeled on the Save Our Stages Act. So that group has made significant inroads into actually getting that moved into the larger bill, which, you know, applause to them, because that was a yeoman's effort. And, you know, we did have a petition on the ArtPride page that sent a letter to our senators asking them to support the Save Our Stages Act. And we recently heard that Senator Menendez came on, so both of our senators are in support of that as well. There are additional provisions in this newer HEROES Act, including unemployment compensation, trying to keep it at the $600 level, second round of PPP with an expansion and an expanded list of allowable uses for forgiveness, more funding for the EIDL program, $5 billion for community development CDBG block grants, the Main Street Lending Program, and $225 billion for education and $57 billion for childcare through a childcare tax credit, which seems to be one of the biggest stumbling blocks that Secretary Mnuchin was not budging on any funding for childcare for some reason. That was a big stumbling block. Okay, moving on. This is a big one. I know you all are tired of surveys. I am tired of surveys, but we really need to re-estimate the loss of to our sector. And the original survey that was done really monitored the loss from March forward to 90 days. So this is a new survey. We've been sending it out, and also the idea is to collaborate with the State Arts Council, the Dodge Foundation, Dance New Jersey Theater Alliance, and South Jersey Culture Alliance, so that you understand that you're not going to get additional surveys from every single art service organization. We want you to complete this one. I think there are about 60 organizations that have responded. There will be another one for individual artists. And that one has not yet gone out, but please complete this as soon as possible. And I just thought, you know, the cat asking might make a difference this time. This is a survey that we have right now for congressional candidates. We've only had one response. I'm not surprised. Congressional surveys are even less responded to than others over the years. But I wanted to point out that we had one response from Representative Mikey Sherrill, and I really truly believe that that was because she also met with a group of about 6 or 7 representatives of arts organizations in her district, and they asked her to, as a follow-up, to complete the survey. So what I'm asking really is anyone who is in District 2, 3, or 7, which those are the more contested elections, congressional district elections. If you are in any of those 3 districts, to please let me know, or just take the link where it says take the survey and ask them yourself to complete the survey, because really it does make a difference when a constituent makes the ask rather than ArtPride asking them to do that. Some other interesting information this week is that SMU Data Arts did the listing of the top 40 most vibrant arts communities in the United States. And as you probably would have suspected, the metropolitan region around New York, including Jersey City and White Plains, came up #1. But within the top 10 is Newark, New Jersey. So we want to extend a big congratulations to them. We know that they're a vibrant community. And the link is at the bottom there for the executive summary, so you can understand better the criteria that Data Arts uses to measure this. More information also, this week, the New Jersey Arts and Culture Recovery Fund grant applications are now available. So you can see that you can apply for up to $50,000 to mitigate pandemic-related financial losses and expenses, and these are some of the areas. Grant applications will be accepted on a rolling basis until December 1st, so you really need to get on the stick on this one, and that there are 2 virtual grant sessions happening, information sessions to answer questions coming up on October 6th and October 8th. So please go to the website. You can register for those Zoom sessions right there. Okay, big deal, Arts Vote. So if you go to that image at the bottom there, pledge to make your vote count in New Jersey, you will automatically come to this page, the New Jersey Arts Vote Pledge, which takes you also to a location. These are housed for all the 50 states and territories at the Arts Action Fund. And each state has specifically different voting regulations and provisions. And these are the ones specific to New Jersey. And as you all know, it's very different in New Jersey this year because of the mail-in vote. And so my suggestion to you, I've been actually monitoring with my friends. Many of the counties have already mailed their votes out, and people are voting early, which is also new in New Jersey, as is the ability to register online. That's brand new in New Jersey as well. And I actually just learned that a few days ago when I went on the election website. This is effective online registration as of September. So make a plan to vote. You get your ballot in the mail. There are several things that you can do. You can cast your ballot through, send it back USPS. You can use the ballot boxes that are in locations throughout your county, or you can take your mail-in ballot in person to your polling location and leave it there. If you choose to not use your mail-in ballot and you still wish to vote in person, when you get to your polling location, there will be no voting booths, as you probably are aware, but you will be given a provisional ballot, and that provisional ballot will not be counted until all the mail-in ballots are counted. There is an app you can get, a New Jersey Elections app if you look for it, and you can also track your ballot through the New Jersey Elections website, which is listed at the bottom of the page. There's also 2 things you really need to remember is to sign your ballot and to put it in the right envelope when you're returning it. In New Jersey and in Pennsylvania, there are envelopes, they're called secrecy envelopes, that protect the identity of the voter. But if you put it in the wrong envelope or you don't sign it, your ballot will not be counted. So, check the elections website, track your ballot, get the app, but most of all, make a plan. And my big suggestion is you get your ballot in the mail, don't put it somewhere where you're going to lose it. Just make a plan and mail it in, put it in a box, make your vote count. I wanted to do a shout out to a couple arts organizations that are featuring voting on their websites. 10 Hairy Legs was working with Dance USA and has an elections toolkit that in the email this week, and also NJPAC has their continuing diversity series with on this coming Monday a panel discussion on why we should vote, linked to a PBS documentary. Then lastly, just reminding you that Jersey Arts at Home is there for you to find virtual programming all over the state, as well as what's live now, and those in each location. You can find a link as well as at the ArtPride website to submit your events for consideration. Don't forget that Keep Jersey Arts Alive is alive. Keep pointing it out to friends and family and social media. Please keep sharing it. Our stats and our images have been shared and viewed thousands and thousands of times. Adam and I continue to do interviews. Actually, we have one coming up this afternoon with NJTV. They're probably going to have something tonight about how what the impact of COVID is on the arts industry. And lastly, we, in lieu of our next webinar, which would be scheduled on 10/16, what we're doing is asking you to please join us on October 20th for ArtPride's annual meeting, which will be virtual and featuring a keynote speaker, Hank Willis Thomas, who has come to national prominence as an artist. Hank has been responsible for the Four Freedoms Project, which is, if you're not familiar with it, you can go to fourfreedoms.org and learn about this project, an artist-led organization that increases creative civic engagement. And you actually, if you go to this website, you can enter your information and you'll automatically get emails reminding you to vote and alerting you to other actions that can be taken as well. If you don't know Hank, he is born in Plainfield, New Jersey. I believe he lives in Brooklyn right now, but you know, one of his most famous pieces is called Raise Up, a sculpture that's at the National Memorial for Peace and Justice in Birmingham, Alabama. He's sure to be a dynamic speaker talking about civic engagement, and I invite you all to be there with us for that. It's going to be really good. And I think that's it from me, which is probably record time, 25 minutes. I disabled my video. I don't know how I did that, but you don't need to see me. It's like Friday. So Adam, you got questions?
You did it. You answered all the questions. There was one question about the link for the recovery fund, which I put up there, and I typoed and then I put correct. So it's PACF for Princeton Area Community Foundation /NJ Arts Culture, but you can just search New Jersey Arts and Culture. You'll be able to find it. What is the time for the annual meeting? Steve Steiner asked. Thanks, Steve. Always good to know what time showtime is. It is at 1 p.m. Mary Beth Sweet is asking Emery, does the Federal HEROES Act contain any liability protection for organizations? That's one issue that's holding up their reopening.
Yeah, I know that that's one of the contentious features of the act. So I know it's probably in there. I just don't know how much, what the amount is.
And I will say too that you know, this works. I love it when it works. Your call for someone in District 7 worked, and I have a name and an email for you to share afterwards. So thank you to that volunteer for sure. I think that's it, Emery. I'm with you. Record time. No one ever got upset about leaving a webinar or meeting early.
No, so, that's for sure.
Thank you again to everyone, all the advocates on the phone, and those that aren't there are certainly our partners in history and tourism. As I said earlier, the ArtPride board and staff. And please join us on the 20th at 1 p.m. And we promise to email you lots of information. But registration is open. You can sign up for that right now. And that is it. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Take care and stay well.
Thank you.